What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the garage, and today we are talking about something that is literally mind-blowing in the world of tuning, and surprise for everybody, it has to do with Mopar, so stick around. Hey everybody, welcome back to the garage, and today we are talking about tuning Mopars. Finally, everybody has been asking for it, and I accidentally stumbled into this mind-blowing, literally mind-blowing situation, and it all has to do with replacing the wheels and tires on the wife's Jeep. Now, if you were already subscribed to my Instagram, you would have saw the fact that we took the 15 Sahara wheels and tires off, replaced them with a brand new set of 19 Sahara wheels and tires. And the reasoning behind that is I priced out what was going to cost to replace just 4 tires, and it was $200 cheaper for me to go out and buy a set of wheels and tires that had about 50 miles on them that were pull-offs from somebody that actually upgraded their wheels and tires. But as I said, I posted all that stuff on the Instagram. If I have not already plopped a link somewhere down here, I will do it now. Go over there, sign up for the Instagram. It is just Goat Rope Garage. Simple. And if you do sign up for the Instagram, anytime that you are working on one of your projects, please do me a favor and throw a hashtag on there, hashtag Goat Rope Garage. That way everybody else that is a member of the garage can see what you are working on. And other than that, if you have not hit that subscribe button, like I will, pop up that stupid little animation thing, hit the subscribe button, ring that bell, don't miss out on the live shows. And we are going to talk about Mopar tuning. So after doing the wheels and tire swap out there, I thought, what would not be like, I need to dive in and look at what's going on. Really have not looked at what is supported on the Jeep, as it were, through HP Tuners. And HP Tuner supports about all the Mopar platforms out there already. The nice thing about the MPVI2 is it is universal. You can get universal credits. So even if you have extra credits sitting around somewhere on your MPVI2, you can still use them for about any platform, GM, Ford, Mopar, stuff like that. So I opened up the tune for a Jeep and I thought, whoa, what is this? What is this? And we're going to jump on to what I'm talking about. What is this here in a second? But I need to make sure that this is not just the only platform that this weird anomaly that could possibly be the future of tuning is on. And so I go out there and I get like some Chargers and some Challenger tunes. And I look at like a Hellcat and stuff like that. And it is all on the same tunes. And so before we go any further, let's just pull it up in the background. Let's hit the green screen. Let's look at this. What is the future as I think it's going to be? And I will explain to you a little bit more as to why I think it's going to be that. Okay, so now we've got it pulled up. You might already be clued into what I'm talking about, and it is neural network. What is that all about? Like, we are diving into the Mopar platform, and the first thing that jumps out to me is the fact that they are using a neural network. What does that mean to us as tuners? Well, let's dive into it. The first thing that we need to look at is the fact that the neural network is enabled. If you mouse over this feature, it will tell you that if you disable it, it goes back to the standard VE table. If you go over to the general tab, there will be a general, like a VE table, maybe a high-low VE table. Let's take a look real quick and see what they've got. It's actually under speed density. We've got a VE Bank 1 and a VE Bank 2, and they are just standard VE as we know in volumetric efficiency tables, where we're calculating the air mass in the cylinder, and then we are delivering fuel based on that. But whenever the neural network is enabled, that's not really being used, if at all. I don't know. If you know any better than I do, make sure and post it down in the description below, because this is super cool. This is very interesting. Being a guy that comes from the automation background that I come from, I work with some artificial intelligence. Yes, this is what this is. Neural networks are artificial intelligence. So let's jump back over to the neural network tab, and let's see what we've got going on underneath there. So the first thing that's going to jump out to you is the number of neurons, but we need to break down what is a neural network. There's plenty of videos on YouTube already, and what you need to be looking up necessarily is not neural networking, but deep learning, because this is a different level of artificial intelligence. Whenever you go into what is considered machine learning, you're basically feeding in a lot of data, and then you have a training data set that is supposed to basically take all this mishmash of data, and you're looking for this specific amount of data or this specific output from the data, and it learns how to match all of that out to create the output that you're looking for. That's not what's happening here. Deep learning is where you use neural networks, which is basically how the brain works, where it recognizes patterns and draws its own conclusions. And it is all based on how many layers. Now, on the Mopar platforms, I've not seen very many layers, 2, maybe 3 at the most, but that's all that it really needs in order to do its job. What are the purposes of the different layers? Well, like your initial layer out to your output layer, which is your final layer, you are looking at different data inputs, and you are looking from data at a very granular set point and then combining it together until you get the outputs, and then the neural network actually recognizes what's happening. So your first layer might be looking, in this case, at certain things like IATs, ECTs, air mass, any kind of just one single sensor input is being brought in. In this case, we've got 9 neurons, which kind of breaks down how many neurons are in each layer. Each neuron then is looking at specific data points, and then it assigns it a weight based on how important it is. Well, there are the abilities to adjust the weights on these tunes, but we don't necessarily need to do that because it should update those weights automatically as it learns different trends. This is literally a system that is going to learn how to tune itself. That is the whole purpose. This is artificial intelligence in its purest form. It's very basic compared to how it's being used in most places, but it is artificial intelligence on the Mopar platform, right? Seriously, mind-blowing stuff. So as we bring in all of these values, the ECM will start to learn that whenever something like your IAT comes up, there might be a trend to see more knock because of that. That will shift down into layer 2, where it has less of a granular picture of it and more of a holistic picture. And it says, okay, now that the IAT is coming up, the spark the knock has a tendency to come up, and in turn on layer 2 we have to dial the spark back a little bit to keep from getting into knock, and then it pushes that information into the output layer. Same ordeal. Whenever we are looking at AFRs on the first layer, it says, hey, if this is lean, that means that we need to add more fuel. So in the second layer it says, hey, we were lean, this is how much fuel that you were dialing in on the first layer, add more fuel on this to the output layer, and thus we have more fuel on the output layer. All of this works together, and it learns trends. It learns. It is way better than what we can do as a human to try and smooth all this stuff out, and it does it without us actually setting the requirements of the output. They are still having to set requirements on this specific output to say, this is what we need to do. We need to accomplish this goal, but it learns on its own how to accomplish that goal without you having to actually input different kind of set points in order to do that. That's what neural networks are. That's what deep learning does. So as opposed to going out and dialing VVE tables or VE tables, torque tables, all that stuff, it looks at all of these separate endpoints or inputs and takes all of this as a big picture, puts weights on them based on how they look on the first layer, and then condenses them down to what is most important on the second layer to get the output layer, which is then going to command your AFR, your spark timing, your throttle opening, all that stuff. That's why this is by far probably the future of tuning as we know it. The idea behind this, if this were the end all be all, says that you should be able to about do anything on these motors, and it should be able to learn what it is. It may take time. It may take a lot of data in order to process all of this and get the proper outputs, but over time, it will learn any changes that you make to it. You theoretically could throw a turbo on this, and as long as you took it slow, went through the steps, let it learn properly that this is all of a sudden we're getting a lot more air mass, a lot more volume of air through these ranges, it will correctly make the adjustments to everything else and tune itself. So let me ask you, is this the future of tuning? Has Mopar dived into the future of tuning by doing neural networks? What is your thoughts on it? Because I am just like floored by this. I'm surprised that I have not seen, if you look at the Ford stuff, it is super complicated to the point of like no return. There's no reason why Ford stuff should be as complicated as it is. Granted, GM stuff is very complicated also. This sounds complicated, but this is the most simplistic way to set up an ECM moving forward. What can I say? Okay, I want to hear from you guys that are tuning Dodges, tuning Chryslers, whatever, Rams, tuning the Mopar platform. What are you guys doing? How are you handling the neural network? Are you just going straight in and disabling it and doing standard VE tuning? Are you actually working with the neural network? Or have you made any adjustments to the neural network? I am sorry that it's taken so long to dive into this platform, because this is the most exciting thing that I have seen as a tuner in the last 20 years. I promise you, this is going to be the future. You are going to see this on more platforms. Whether or not that we have access to be able to edit stuff like this, I don't know yet, but do not be surprised on the Gen 6 stuff on GMs if you do not see the same kind of setup where there are neural networks, deep learning, machine learning, artificial intelligence, taking in all of these same sensors that we already have and then changing the outputs automatically. Now, the question is, where do we dive into the picture? Where do we change things like, does it replace the torque tables? Because if you have torque tables, you still have to be able to go in, adjust the torque to make sure that you are not capping things like your torque output. But all of that being said, this very well could be the future. And I'm a little bit jealous of you Dodge guys. It makes me want to go out and start tuning some more Mopar stuff. So I'm super anxious to find out what you guys are doing. Let me know down in the comments below. I want to dive into this more. I want to hear your feedback on it. Listen, as always, I want to thank everybody that subscribed to this. I can't wait to dive into this more. We've got a lot more stuff coming out on different platforms, but this is a mind-opening, like eye-opening kind of situation of what is going on. Congratulations to Dodge for being the first, or Chrysler being the first platform that is using machine learning, as far as I know of, to tune their vehicles, to create properly running vehicles. Awesome, 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 awesome. If you know of any other platforms out there that is currently using deep learning or machine learning in order to create, fueling output, stuff like that, hit up the comments down below, please. I want to dive more into that kind of stuff, because that's the kind of stuff that I get really excited about, because it crosses over into what I do every day for a living. You know, I do a lot of automation, data science, stuff like that. And so that's how I got into tuning in the first place. To be able to see that crossover into the automotive world gets me super excited. I would love to be able to throw some kind of deep learning tune on the Super Auto to see how it responds. I would love to deal with somebody that's doing some crazy stuff on the Dodge platform or the Chrysler platform to see how they are utilizing it, if they're utilizing it at all. Because I know that the response initially is going to be to go in there, disable it, and just go over to standard VE tuning, because that's what we know. But that's not probably what you want to do. You could be causing yourself so much extra work if you weren't using the neural network stuff. So that being said, listen, everybody, thank you for stopping by the garage. I'm sorry, I'm super excited about this, and it's probably coming through the camera for once. I mean, I haven't seen something this cool in a long time. If you have not subscribed, hit up the subscription button down there below. Once again, thank you for all the new patrons. If you need tune assistance, go to the Patreon. That's how you can do it. $15 a month gets you one-on-one email assistance. And then there is the pro tier that gets you an hour a month of video chat where we can dive deep into your own tune. So check that out if you need help. I'm not going to tune for you, but it will get you a lot more insight as if you are having specific problems on your tune. Trust me, if you have any doubts about it, post down below and say, hey, is the Patreon worth it? There is over 100 patrons right now, and about all of them will chime in and say, yeah, this is totally worth every single penny. And so check that out. You can get there by going to goatropegarage.com. There's a link at the top. If you're on mobile, open up the menu on the side. There will be a link there. Same ordeal. If you want to share any of these videos, drop the tuning101.com address out there, and that brings you straight to the homepage on YouTube for the Goat Rope Garage. Super easy way. Literally, tuning101.com. Greatest URL ever. And I feel like it might be going to waste just by landing on the homepage, but nonetheless, That's a quick way to share these videos for other people that need assistance in getting into tuning. The whole idea behind this channel is to provide free tuning assistance to demystify it. It is not black magic. There is no secret cult that comes into this tuning BS. I'm tired of that mentality. I'm tired of people having to spend their hard-earned cash to learn these simple aspects of tuning. So share this information far and wide, share your thoughts, share any of your progress, any of your tips and tricks. This is a community. I need your input to make everything better. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up. That gets these things out there to everybody else out there. That is the best thing that you can do. Sharing it is great, but hitting the thumbs up means that if somebody else searches for how to tune something, our videos show up first. They're not paying $30, $40, $50, $200 for a book or a video out there. They're getting this information for free. If you want to see certain subjects, make sure to hit up the comments down below. I'll try to get to it, but we have a laundry list of stuff that we've got to get to. I want to get to everybody's subjects. I promise you. I want to help everybody out as much as possible. I am busting my ass trying to help everybody out. I can only sleep so many hours a day and work so many hours a day. But that all being said, remember, ABT, always be tuning, and thanks for stopping by the garage.